Uh, I'm afraid my voice is suddenly going to change. Hold on. I've got a new intro to the stream. You ready for this? Ready for this, lads? Yeah. It's the wrong button.
Hello and welcome to the stream. Today in Britain.
Today in Britain, I lost my voice. And we are joined by two Americans.
Hello.
One of them's here, one of them's not here. So we've got Dorama and Alan here, so it's an all-American cast lineup in the Formula Rookies, which is going to be interesting. A fun little cars that you've got. I've got a very familiar face in here as well, so look forward to all of them as I get the stream up on my phone.
Who's the familiar face?
Thomas Ethan, 2001.
What's that?
Thomas Ethan 2001, fellow commentator, did join us once or twice in the commentary booth.
Oh.
Of course, limiting
Thomas.
success.
Gotcha.
But overall, exciting to see then around these things. Around one of the Steel Academy series then, all of the cars are going to be driving them to see who is the quickest driver in the, well, of the new guys who are here. So we've got, oh, hello phone. Thanks phone.
Hi, phone.
Hi phone. Hi phone. I'll just put you there so I can read any comments coming up. So, like I was saying before my phone rudely interrupted me, today's hopeful entees of the championships of the future: Marcos, HLB, Thomas Ethan 2001, Pong Kangong, Rabiti Edero,
There you go. That's perfect.
Petty Bib, Pezzle, Fophonic, Snitchiaton.
I like how you take a running start at things. Keep going.
Shajon Ock 93, Alan KV, who's not going to be on track, Drama Punk, who's not going to be on track, That there, Evildragonxxl, who's not going to be on track, and the pit lane, because he doesn't exist currently, because he's just a box. He's not going to be on track either. And hello to Cadwell Park in the chat. Indeed, as I just got asked, do you want to do Group A? No. I'm doing them all here in Group B now. It's too late. Well, you three then, or two others, because it's confusing. It's going to get confusing. What do you think about Donington then?
I think it's a place.
Great start.
It's a fun track to drive around. I mean, we could say big formation. This track actually earlier in the season, or not early in the season for Gavra, in real life, Billy Monger had his accident here earlier this year, which was a terrifying accident. But other than that, this track is fantastic. All the curbs and everything lines up perfectly. I mean, there's a different formation that sometimes other people will run. I'm not sure which one we're running. Is it the one where you go to the hairpin, or is it the one with the chicane? I'm not exactly sure.
So it'll be the one with the chicane at the last corner.
Okay. Yeah, this track is actually really short, but at the same time, really fun for these types of cars. So I'm anticipating a great race today.
Yeah, well, talking about, of course, this track. Now, we do remember Donington 93. If you don't know what that is, what happened that race, then
Look it up.
Problems. Yeah, look it up, because it is the race. Ayrton Senna de Silvia won by over a minute to Alan Frost and good old Damon Hill.
If you don't really remember that year was dominated by the Williams. They were so much faster than the McLaren, and if you saw the McLaren's pace, like look at Michael Andretti and his consistency. That's the pace that the McLaren should have ran, but with Ayrton Senna on the car. He got multiple wins that season, and especially when it was in the rain, Ayrton Senna showed his masterclass and ended up winning that Grand Prix. And I believe started 6th in the race, and then took the lead by a lap, well, in over just less than 1 lap. So
I think, yeah. Yep, I'm pretty sure it was 5th, of course. Do you remember reading that 93 season? We didn't only had Michael Andretti because he got sacked. I don't think he sacked. I think he left, didn't he? And got replaced by a certain driver called Mika Hakkinen.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
his last race he got a podium, and then Mika Häkkinen came in and did,
Got a podium.
got 2 other
Wow.
podiums for the rest of the season in a span of 4 races. So
Shows a driver's dominance. Well, talking about people going quick, Thomas Eden 2001 is currently quickest here with 90 minutes to go in this little practice. Let me have a little race afterwards, so it'll be exciting to see what happens there. Well, people are probably going to be asking, what do you think the best lap time runner? I think possibly a low 111 here. As you look at car sliding, that's going to be contact lap.
Ooh.
Running a bit wide.
Thomas more than. Ooh,
Oh, dear.
that messed him up.
Number 74 going for a little bit of a twitcheroo. And supposedly...
That's
in
gotta be
pit lane
frustrating.
sometimes. Yep, we know.
I personally have only driven these cars a couple times, and it's usually met with frustration. I don't know what your experiences are with these things, but I don't like that there's no downforce.
No.
I don't like it at all.
Based, of course, on the Formula Fords. Of course, little fun little vehicles. Basically, just imagining taking every bit of downforce off a Formula C car, then basically just, yeah, pretty much.
And reducing the
basically what
power.
it is. Yeah, basically.
Acceleration. Yeah.
I've been calling it Ford.
and I've done a career mode on these things, and I've actually enjoyed driving these. They have a lot more control compared to the other formulas like Formula A, B, or C. They have a lot more control because they don't go as fast. Where you can spin it out, but at the same time, open wheel cars, and look how look at the wheels and look at the base of the car. Look how much they're separated, and so much space that when you get side by side with someone, you have to be very, very conservative, just in case you make contact. It's easy to actually flip these things. I found that out the other day with these cars.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
of course. Talking about flipping cars around, we've seen quite a few incidents in the actual Formula C season actually recently, with a few cars flipping, of course. Giorgio had a monumental flip with Bowie, of course. That is tomorrow. We'll see what the outcome of those incidents are. Because that will be around Imola in the good old San Marino, because it's not Italy, because it's San Marino. It's confusing, I know.
It's like, what's it called? Monte Carlo.
Yep, Monaco, which is it's itself.
It's its
Well,
own
the difference
thing.
is
It's a tax-free
difference is with San Marino, the Imola track is actually in Italy.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah?
yeah, it's not even in San Marino.
But they call it the
Oh.
San Marino Grand Prix because the Italians like 2 F1 racers. So then they can child for up
Yeah, and
cheer Ferraris on twice.
yeah, we actually discussed this in my first ever Gavra race because in F1 a country cannot have 2 Grand Prix unless they change the name up a little bit. They can't really change the name, like in the United States they had the United States Grand Prix West or the Grand Prix of America, and they change it up whenever they had 2 Grand Prix in America. With this, they had to have it San Marino, knowing that the track was nearby of the country of San Marino.
Ooh,
Yeah, that was
we got
Oh.
11 going off on T1.
Yeah.
Turn 1. Yeah, I didn't even look up on a map. I just looked it up on Wikipedia, and I'm like, oh, okay, so most of these Grand Prix are held in places where rich people can funnel their money.
Yeah, basically. Of course, we're talking about, like we said, 2 different countries. Of course, we'll remember Hockenheim and Nürburgring. Nürburgring used to host the European Grand Prix. Now it doesn't really host a lot because they're out of money. Apparently, they just can't afford F1. It's confusing.
That's unsurprising.
It does
Wait,
not
who
surprise
can't?
me.
I didn't catch that
The
one more time.
Nürburgring actually doesn't host any F1 because what I read up, it can't afford it.
Oh. Last time I was in Europe, I was talking to somebody. They were from Estonia, and they were telling me about how the Nordschleife, or I can't ever say it, Nordschleife?
Not Slifer.
Yeah, Nordschleife.
Yeah. That circuit was actually being, I don't know how much of this is accurate, but he said it was in about a few years it was going to be closed down because there wasn't any public funding going to happen for it anymore. Like, they were reallocating the money to something else, and the racetrack wasn't for it. So I don't know what's going on with that circuit. I don't know if they're losing a ton of money or what's going on.
No, it definitely
I
seems
guess,
that way.
I hope it doesn't shut down as a GP. That would be awful.
Indeed, we do remember beautiful races there. Actually, can't, but moving on. Well, the only race I remember there was actually really stick to my mind. 2007 was a European Grand Prix that year. Of course,
Oh, that was one of my all-time favorites.
with everyone going off basically at the first corner because of a certain thing called the rain. And Liuzzi, I'm pretty sure it was Toro Rosso, almost hit the safety truck, and a very similar situation happened a few years later, which we don't really talk about too much, because it's a bit, well, tragic, because they're dead.
Oh.
I remember back in the 2007 race, Spiker ended up leading part of the race. That was Winkelrock. I don't remember his... Yeah.
Nobody
It was actually his first F1 race.
Mr. Winkelrock.
Oh, yeah, I saw that YouTube video, yeah.
Yeah,
Have you seen Hamilton in GP2 where he just he actually gets a stop-go penalty and he ends up just like flooring it through the entire field, and I think that was one of the motivations to bring him into Formula One. That's what I think of when I think of Nürburgring, is Hamilton just fucking can't swear just tearing through the field. And it was really, I'm not a Hamilton fan in terms of personality. I think his work ethic is awesome. Oh, we got a new top time. We got 1:10.9.
Yeah, great lap there.
Yeah.
Well, talking about Hamilton, that
Marcos.
moves us swiftly on to a certain point that I was discussing with the viewers yesterday. Hamilton and Vettel, what's your opinion of that thing? As oh dear God, there's been a huge spin there. That is Pezzle spinning. What's your opinion on that incident at Baku?
Who are you asking? Which
Both of
American?
The
Oh,
both
okay.
of you?
The both of us. Well, I think it was poor sportsmanship in terms of Vettel. It obviously cost him the race. I don't like seeing that. I think he should have points on his license. That stop-go, I think, ruined his race, and I think that's what he needed. I don't know about all this other stuff about being disqualified and all that, but I'm disappointed in him because I'm rooting for him, but now I'm kind of second guessing. I don't know. What do you think, Alan?
I look at the penalty that they awarded him, a 10-second stop and go. Now, Lewis Hamilton fans agree that he should have gotten more of a penalty, and obviously you can look at it and say it was aggressive driving he did on purpose against the leader of the race, but at the same time, some stats showed that Lewis Hamilton slowed down in the corner, but the reason why Vettel was so close is because the last safety car, he was a good distance away to the point where he got a bad start. So the second time going through the third sector, he was very, very close to Hamilton to the point where he was risking his own car. So already at that point, that he should have known that something was going to happen. He got a lot closer to Hamilton, and eventually something did happen. And knowing Vettel on how much he complains, he threw up his hands and drove next to Lewis Hamilton and hit his side. Now, I'll be completely honest, I don't like Hamilton, and I support Vettel, but at the same time, I think he deserves a little bit more of a penalty, like a penalty in the points, but he didn't win the race, and that's how it was, so.
Well,
Okay. Wait. You think Hamilton deserved the penalty? Wait. No, you
No,
said
I'm saying
just
that, like,
Vettel.
yeah, just Vettel.
Okay.
But at the same time, you can look at Hamilton and you can put some of the blame on him, but I wouldn't give him a penalty.
But I've looked at the telemetry data and there's no difference. Oh, well, we got a lot of people going off track. There's no difference in any of the telemetry data. All his lap times and everything run concurrent with each other, and there's nothing out of frequency. So
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know. I'd say it was just Vettel getting emotional, and I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, plus he got a lot closer, like I said, because the first safety car start, he got a bad start. So he got closer to Hamilton to make sure he didn't, and he got too close.
Yeah. Plus, it's like, as Ricciardo had said, turn 15, it's not like you're going to do a restart on turn 15.
Yeah.
So, what are your views? I haven't heard your views on it.
mine?
Yes.
Well, to be honest, I don't like Hamilton at all because, well, yeah. I've got very
Thank you.
certain reasons I don't like Hamilton.
Why don't you explain them to us?
I used to like Hamilton back 2010, 11, 12, and then he joined Mercedes, and then he became the most, like, he basically turned into James Hunt, just more annoying.
Okay.
He became a playboy so much and so that he just basically put himself in the limelight. What you'd hear every day, Lewis Hamilton's done this, Lewis Hamilton's done that, Lewis Hamilton spotted with Rihanna, Lewis Hamilton does this, that, and the other. Now, Not saying the driver shouldn't be doing that as we look at a snitchy go into the first corner. To be honest,
I would also like to mention, while we're talking about it, we have he's 3 through 9 within the same second, which is it's going to be a good race, I think. So, but go on with your Hamilton rant.
Yeah, my Hamilton rant basically just goes on to just like generally his attitude as well. Just seems a bit rotten compared to some other drivers. Now, to the Vettel incident. Now, I did some research and did actually go through viewing the replays a lot. Now, when he pulled alongside, he didn't actually mean to turn into him. What he did, when he puts a hand up, you can see his other hand just he can't hold the car that easily with one hand. You can see it, and his hand just drops.
I would say this. Can I just add? They go up one-handed on Eau Rouge, so I don't know about that. But go on.
They don't tend to go up one-handed on Eau Rouge. I've never seen a driver go one-handed up Eau Rouge.
Oh, look it up.
I'll have to look it up though, like sometime. But you got to see the car. Oh, we got a spinner then at that's towards the old hairpin area. Start to ladders. Cannon spinning. Well, definitely doesn't look like he meant to do it deliberately. Of course, like the thing that also really annoys me about Hamilton was a car going off at turn number 1. Is that Ethan going off lane? No, it's not. He's in the old hairpin. The thing that annoys me is what he then said on the radio trying to get his teammate to deliberately slow down to hold Vettel up so Lewis Hamilton could get past. Now,
yeah, I heard that.
That's pretty. I mean, Vettel being on sportsmanship, yeah, sure, but Hamilton, that's just as bad, kind of. Basically, trying to win someone else's race, 2 other people's races, to be honest. There, trying to get someone to slow
holding
down.
somebody up. That's a team strategy. They do that all the time.
Yeah, but where he was trying to overtake Bottas. Now, if you think of the Mercedes point of view, what are they rather on? Hamilton just to get 2 points, or Bottas to get 3 points, which he did. More. If you think it that way, then it kind of makes Hamilton look a little bit downward, especially because he basically is trying to make his teammate feel lower esteem, so he puts him below. That's my opinion on that.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I guess my take on it is that I don't like I like seeing the emotion and drama. I prefer seeing professionalism. And yeah, I agree with you. I don't care for the personalities of that race, but the race was actually really exciting to watch. Yeah. And I had somebody who doesn't watch F1 sitting with me, and they were like, "Oh, when's the next race?" So.
Well, it is one in every few years, those types of races, isn't there? Though in the V6 era, we seem to have them quite often, the crazy mad races recently, haven't we?
I'm okay with that. As someone coming into the 2016, last year was my first season to watch, so it seems like everyone, I don't know if it's just a consistent thing for Formula One fans to just really hate the races that they're seeing. But everyone was complaining, and it seems like everyone is always talking about a different era, so I'm okay with whatever I'm watching because I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, well, indeed, we all do enjoy different eras. I enjoy the, kind of the, well, to be honest, my favourite season ever, watching the first half of it, at least 2012. I think we all agree that the 2012 season, if you watched it, incredible. Just because 7 different winners
one
in the
of my
first
favorites.
Races. And Michael Schumacher got a pole position at Monaco and then got a podium in European Grand Prix at
Valencia.
Which is
that track.
It's an interesting
track. That track is pretty well hated, from what I hear.
That track.
Oh, I love that track. I loved it. I love that track. Yeah.
It's really flowing. However, just looking on, I've got bored to it on Google Maps. That track is completely and utterly destroyed. As we look at Thomas even running wide. And spinning.
There's a good portion of it.
A good portion of it is now no longer here. It seems your mic seems to have disconnected, possibly.
Oh.
There we go. You're back. No, last time they did that, and your mic was a bit glitchy, and I kept talking over you. Car going slowly towards the last screen. That could be for warming lap, and we've got 4 minutes to go. And that was a bit close. Who was that? That was 8th place. Almost ran into the back of him then. So I don't know what that guy is doing, but going a bit slowly then down the main straight. So currently Marcos leads by 5 tenths ahead of Thomas Even, who's trying to overtake what looks to be a yellow car. Reminds me of the Jordan livery. Got Roberto in 3rd, Wreckit 4th, Phoenix 5th, Pokyong 6th, Snitsy 7th, Petty 8th, Pezzle 9th, Shajon 10th, Swift Shadows is 11th, and that is all that is currently in this race. All 11 drivers separated by 6.36 seconds.
Any predictions for this race? Anyone?
It's going to be a horrible
Anyone got
accident.
some
at turn
insider
1.
information?
Horrible
Oh.
accident.
Someone will
Yeah?
flip.
Yeah,
Okay, well.
I'm calling something bad. I know these cars. Well, any open wheel car that you can flip pretty much. I know the only kind of open wheel car you can't really flip, and if you can, it's incredible, is the Indy car but it's kind of openly closed, isn't it?
Yeah, those things are wide and
Almost
no,
impossible.
I haven't flipped any of those things. You have to kind of wedge them. You really have to. I think you have to go like grill to grill or whatever, wing to wing, and ramp off somebody in order to flip them.
Yeah, probably. Well, the Formula A cars are pretty hard. The Formula B's slightly harder. The Formula C's are basically just missiles. If you get tapped, you are going into the wall. As we've got Thomas Ethan going skating across the grass, and that's going to be a spin there.
Ooh,
That's a bit.
there's another spin.
That's a bit silly then. Getting on the grass, struggling in the rear end of that car.
I've only
Well-
raced this track with a Formula A, so
Indeed, and there's Vector in the chat. Hello, Vector in the chat, and back to you.
So this first section, I've only hit this window a few times, but you can, I don't know what it's like with this car, but if you hit it just right, you can actually maintain fifth through sixth gear on this, I'm following with P7, and if you go down to this slope, you do the right-hander, and then it's the left, and right here you can just stay on the gas, and if you hit it left wide enough, you can just keep accelerating through that
Yeah.
turn and not really have to let off. But I've only been able to do that, and you keep going up until this kink, and obviously you can't maintain that speed. But I've only been able to do it a few times, and it's really something when you nail it.
It really is.
What about you, Alan? What do you like to race?
What do you mean, like, what do I like to race
Yeah.
in general?
Within project cars.
Oh,
that's
project
all.
cars.
I mean, like, you know, we talked about F1 2016, but that's an obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to race the open wheel cars on here. They're very, very fast, and for league racing, I only usually like to drive open wheel cars. They're really, really fun to drive, and obviously you get to have really, really close battles. I mean, for GT3 racing, which I've commentated in Gavra only, but it seems interesting. I've driven a couple league races on the GT3s, but other than that, I just prefer open wheel cars.
We're in the same boat.
Well,
All right.
I also, just a little thing, I also like open wheel cars, but I prefer the Indy cars because, well, I'm being American today. I just generally like the Indy cars a lot better because they just seem more grippier. They're a lot funner to chuck around a track. Of course, you'd expect that, and indeed, Project Cars 2, if you haven't kept up to date, we have the Indy 500 on that. So,
Yeah.
yep, I am going to be driving Indy cars a lot more when that game comes out because I like driving around super speedways. Because if you didn't know, I like NASCAR.
Really? Okay. Well.
Really obscure
I
thing,
used
a
to.
British person
I
liking
used to.
NASCAR, but I love it.
I used to. Yeah.
I am beside myself.
The thing that I don't like about it now is with all the debris cautions that they're throwing just to bring the pack together to have good racing, and all these sponsors leaving and going, and the point where they're losing ratings because of the racing, and they're making these huge machines, and they're not really racing as they used to back then. That's what I really don't like about NASCAR now. But
Yeah, well,
Ooh.
that is qualifying over right now.
And we have a 5-minute warm-up.
I think so. We've got Marcos Len, pole, Thomas second, Pong third, Rob fourth, fifth is Snitchy, sixth is Foe, seventh we've got Reg, and eighth we've got Petty. So I think we are going into the race, so remember to get your cars off this track. So we haven't got a 5-minute warm-up for this. I think it's a 5-6 lap
I make
race.
no promises. Ah!
And here we go.
What?
Oh, Swift Shadow stalled on the grid. Everyone seems to get off the line good then. And let's see if everyone gets a clean. No, they haven't. There's been contact at turn number 1.
Oh,
and there's been a pile-up. Nearly, that is Robertio spun. Well, up front, it seems to be all good then. I believe we've got Marcos Febby. Where is Ethan gone? He's dropped himself down to 4th. Struggling there, Len, as you go into the old hairpin. Very easy, Len. You seem to have got away clean. You've got the 2 bunting up groups, and we've got the top. We've got the battle for 2nd so far going on. We've got Thomas even looking perhaps to the inside. There's contact! Huge contact there!
Ooh.
And he's gone straight over the back of the car there. That was... What on earth happened then?
He's deep in that forest of green.
He is
That's
deep
gonna
in
send
that
him
forest
back
of green
to
there. Locked the
P10
car up
if,
there.
nope. Or
That'll be
P9.
damage on that car.
He's going to feel some pressure from P10.
Yep, we've got talking about battling P9 in there.
Ah, battle for 4th place, actually. In the chicane late braking.
Yep.
And he gets position. Ricker into 4th.
Yep. Marcos
Swift Shadow is not having a good time. Sorry, just commentating on P11 at the moment.
Yep. Well, so Peppy 2nd, Phoenix 3rd. We got contact lane at turn number 1. That's going to push him straight around there. That was Pezzle. That's very clumsy. We've got a Wreck-It go. Someone's going slowly at turn 1. I think that's Swift Shadow who's not started this race there. That's a bit of a caution then. The car going slowly.
We had 3 cars off in the green at one point.
Yeah. Shadow's got himself going finally. Ethan's going slowly, but of course the damage in on that car. Meanwhile, like we said up front, Marcos leads this race by a little bit of gap length to Pebby and Phoenix. Or Phophonic. I'm going to call him Phophonic from now on. So the top.
I think it's supposed to be Phoenix, but you think they would have spelled it with the 3.
Yeah,
Can't be too certain.
Phophonic. Then he'll be. Well, not too much going on in terms of accident. We wouldn't expect, of course. We are here for the time trial and seeing who is the quickest here. The race is generally to see.
And there's a move from Pezzle onto...
Oh, there's contact. Oh, that's not gone well. What happened there?
Well, it looks like... I can't even... Pezzle tried to make a move onto Ricketer, and then something happened, and Rickett got behind him after the braking point and just plowed him through the left side of the chicane. Or didn't even go through the chicane, just moved him to the side.
John there, that was a very, very, very late move then there. He suddenly just pulled out on a Poncan on there, and that's very dangerous manoeuvre that was actually. Just suddenly pulled out very in front of him. That could have ended in a nasty shunt then. Just lucky there, but that's because of there. He's gone and lost the rear and he's going to lose 2 positions there. He might not lose a 3rd. What's going off then? We've got 3 to go in this little kind of sprint race. Got a battle for 2nd going on currently.
Also got a battle for 7th as well too. Oh, someone's gone off. P6 has gone off.
Yeah, that seems
Well,
to
they were
be...
P6.
He's disconnected, I think. No, he's left the session, it seems. So Vector's left the session as well, because he's here for the time trial. We're here just to watch these guys do battle as we come, I think, to lap 4. Or are we going to come to lap... We're on lap 4. That's good. Battling.
I think P7's going to make a move on P6.
Yeah, looking at it.
This next half lap or something, it looks like. He's maintaining a lot of speed.
I think possible move up the inside of turn 1, do you think?
They might try it once they're close enough.
Back out of it for the time being. You know,
Very cautious.
Looking at 2nd and 3rd, they're close together, but not as close as currently 7th and 6th, who are nose to tail down the straight. It'd be interesting to see if a move could be on in 2nd. He's got a good run into the old hairpin. Is he going to try to the inside? Oh, he is.
Oh,
he's got the position on this next turn. If he holds it, no.
Oh, had to back off.
Yeah. These little Formula cars doing good. The Formula rookies, or FR as I'm going to now refer them to, doing a good job round the Donington coming to 1 lap to go. Marcos leads this race. I think here comes a run then. Compared, is he going to go to the inside? Is he going to go to the outside? He's going to be slipping up the slipstream to the outside. Does he get it on the braking zone? So he'll be on the outside. Let's see. Does he try it? We forced off there. And...
Ooh. What was
happened
that?
there? Did he just spin on the grass or was he pissed off there? Oh, we got contact!
Huge contact!
Woo! That was
John.
Ethan. And then was it?
Yeah, John went off. He's the one that actually went halfway, midway through the air.
That was a very big impact there then. So a few drivers being a bit clumsy in their race tactics. We're on the final lap of this only 5-lap race, of course. We had currently 9:13 UK time. What time is it where you two are?
4:13.
3:14.
Oh, lucky.
Lucky, yes.
Yeah, you get 1 extra hour.
Well, coming through the last corner, here comes Marcos then. He's done a good job. He is going to come across the line, and he's going to be happy. That's a pretty dominant race, don't you think, there?
1:10.7, that's better than his qualifying time.
Third, is he going to get a run to the line? That's going to be on the outside.
Ooh.
They're going to run to the line. I don't think Phoenix is going to. It's going to be very, very close there. He's got second, apparently. No, maybe not, but the game's saying he's got second.
Good shout.
They've crashed into turn number 1. There's going to be more contact there, is there not? Yeah, going to... Oh, he'll be good. There they are. So, Robbie is 4th. We've got Snitchy 5th. Pezzle's spun at the last corner. That's allowed Ethan into second.
Oh, no! Woo!
That looks in a bit close to Pong Kangler.
I would have looked first before pulling out onto the track.
I think that would have been a penalty in
That
real
would have
life.
been a penalty in real life, indeed. So Pezzle 8, John 9th after going rather in the air, and Swift Shadows is still yet to finish. And Barry joined the chat just in time on the final corner, so good job. I think is that it, or is that the race over? I'm not sure we've got another one after this. I'm pretty sure we don't. And Shadows going slowly. Yeah, that is the time trial over. So there we go, and this Shadows crossing the line, and there we go. So that's a little race going on there, and I think that went quite well, don't you think?
Yeah, that was fun.
Now, we look at it now. Who do you think actually proved the best? I think Marco did prove quite good actually in this race. Dominated, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes. I wish I would have remembered the original lineup, but I want to say
that, I got told it was a random
Phoenix
grid.
also came up.
So
Phoenix came up quite well too, if I'm thinking correctly.
Of course, Ethan dropped down. He started in 4th. He's come back to 6th. He did a good job to come through the field. It's a great little driving by him then. Came through the field, got the car into there, but of course clumsy driving I think for a few drivers there, proving they're a little bit now. John, that's what a move he did. Of course it's on the stream if anyone wants to go back at it. It was on I think lap 3. Definitely a bit naughty pulling across there into turn number 1 there, especially if the car's up your inside and he pulled across. Very lucky no contact was made then.
Yeah.
Well, that race I'm going to give that 7 out of 10. What's a 10 out of 10 for this race then? 7 out of 10 I give it. What's your opinions?
8.
8.
I'm gonna say it's 6 because I think it could have been a little cleaner on a few people's parts. And there was also a move coming up to that chicane where I forget who it was. It wasn't the person with the Korean name, but they were coming up on them, and we were watching 6 and 7, and I thought that could have been a little something more special, but something happened with their vehicle, and they just actually it was quite a hard spin. I don't know what they did with their brakes or what happened, but yeah, so I'm gonna say 6.5.
Well, that is that little race over then. We have got no other race after this, so thanks for joining us in this tiny little babby stream we've got today then. That is all it's going to do. It's only half an hour, which is pretty good actually compared to some other times. Well, join us tomorrow, which perhaps Lee's 2 may join, because I don't think Soup's going to be here. I think there's only 1 spot, but we'll find out later on how many spots there is, and I'll let you guys know. Because fun. Well, that's that done then today. We'll see you guys tomorrow in Formula C around Imola. And until then, it is goodbye for all 3 of us in this beautiful booth of doom. Goodbye.